So, Diablo 4, what's the first impressions? Well, long and short of it is that the sound design is on par, if not slightly lesser than Diablo 3, as far as understanding your character direction and distance. As far as spatial awareness of enemies and directions, that's fine. Sound design of hitting and being hit, and the environments and stuff, all that's really good. Okay. The big problem so far has been the text to speech or screen reader native, the in-game TTS, because the problem is that it's very inconsistent. So if you go into a game, it will read, let's say, like skills. It'll read, like this is interactable. This is, talk to this person, break this door. Like the TTS will read a lot of stuff, which is really nice. The problem comes with the inconsistencies, where it does not tell you what buttons are what in certain menus, so I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to pressing square, R3, whatever buttons. And on top of that, the TTS, as far as I'm aware, maybe later, but as right now, it does. There's no way to tell what I'm equipping, or the stats of my gear. The best it tells me is durability is this, right? It doesn't tell me here's your intelligence, here's your whatever stats, and here's a chest piece, here's a one hand, here's a two hand. Like it doesn't read any of that. It just oh, well, that's great. An hour and a half of wait time, yay. Anyway, it's good that it's there, and it's good that it is functional. I hope with patches and updates we'll get it to a point where the TTS will read every menu, no inconsistencies. It'll tell you, hey, square does this, triangle does that. Like I have no idea how I'm allocating my skill points right now. Like I've got a couple skill points, but I don't know how to spend them, or if I've screwed something up. My gear, I am unaware of what I'm currently wielding. Like there's no way for me to tell. As for navigating environments, again, they're pretty simple. Like it's not too complicated. The only downside is that that you might get a little lost depending on the zone, right? There is what's called a bumper block or something. Essentially, if you run to the very edge of the playable zone, or like if you're running into something physically that you could break or something, then it'll have a sound to indicate that. So yeah, so as far as the accessibility goes, it could use some work, the TTS especially, because I'm unaware of what I'm doing as far as my skills, like how do I unequip or equip skills, like what skills I have equipped, like my gear, like how do I know what gear I'm wearing, like to know what stats I'm wearing, like what uniques or legendaries do I have, if any, like do I have any life per second, do I have any like there's so many like little things that I'm noticing where it's like I'd really like to know this. Maybe it does read it, and I just haven't found a way to get it to read it just yet. Yeah, this is the biggest criticism I can think of right now for D4 is the TTS is inconsistent. Aside from that, it's actually good. The combat's pretty smooth. It's a lot slower paced than D3. The sound design, native sound design for the game itself is just really solid. The music's a little loud, but you can turn that down. There's a lot of different options for your audio as well as your visuals. If you want to mess with all those and tweak with those, you do have a fair amount of accessibility in general. Sure. There's no audio description for cutscenes, which is, that's not a huge loss in my opinion. Audio description would be nice, but it's not a huge loss, because honestly speaking, for 95% of the population, it's going to be once you're done with the campaign, you're not going to touch it again, so there's no point. The classes available right now are Barbarian, Assassin, and Sorcerer. Currently, I am playing a Barbarian, trying to level up, trying to understand how the character works. I plan to start a Sorc and an Assassin later tonight, hopefully, and this way I can actually try these classes and see how they feel, see how they play. Necromancer and Druid are next weekend, so I'll probably try both those next weekend. So if you guys, follow me on Twitch, feel free, and we can explore and have fun. So hope you guys enjoy. see more Diablo 4 content. I'm enjoying this. It really does feel like Diablo 2 and World of Warcraft. Right now, it feels way more like Diablo 2. I think the World of Warcraft elements kick in, later in the levels and later once you get out of the tutorial area. It really doesn't feel like D3 at all. So if you like D3, you probably won't like D4, period. Because it almost feels like the devs decided, hey, we want D2 and WoW, but we're going to kind of shun D3. Like, the community doesn't like D3 anymore, right? Because if you look at the reception, yes, there is a pretty chunky D3 community, but it's regarded as, like, if you look at a lot of Diablo 2 players and WoW and whoever else, I don't know about WoW actually, but D2 specifically, a lot of D2 players don't like D3 because it is too cartoonish, too silly, too simple. Like, there's no real complexity to the game. Like, classes are very straightforward. Like, there's just nothing to Diablo 3 enough for them to get invested, right? Granted, these are guys who play Diablo 2, so the whole different ball game. So from going from D3 to D4, from my little limited exposure, I went into this expecting like harder, slower paced, and I'll say this, it's fun so far. I don't know. I have no idea how this is going to play with multiple people, especially when it comes to multiple people who are blind and have all the accessibility turned on, right? Because on your screen, because there's like so many little things to mess with, to where it'll be interesting to see how things play out and how things progress. Sorry about that. The long and short of it is this. D4 looks good so far. It could use improvements. Hopefully there are improvements next weekend or at least in June. I definitely see myself playing this more than D3. Just because D3 is really simple, honestly. Like, it's just start a rift, get the keys, start a rift, get the keys, start a rift, get the keys, boom, blast the keys into your 90s, and hopefully get you your primals, right? Like D3, as much as I love the game, it's fun. It's just like, all right, I'm kind of, eh. Whereas like the fights in this game, I'm already like struggling to fight some enemies. I'm like, this feels good. Like, there's a bit of a challenge. I have to worry about evading some attacks maybe here and there. Like, it feels pretty good. The combat feels good. The sound design feels good. I can't speak to any in-game mechanics or bosses or anything because I've not encountered it. So with any luck, I'll be able to, to experience all this and play more and wrap my head around how the game works. If you guys have any tips or suggestions or feedback, please feel free to let me know. There are some shortcuts or buttons that seem like they might have like ways to work around some of the inconsistent TTS, but I don't know for sure. So if you guys can think of anything for those, like menus or whatever, then let me know. Appreciate it. And thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time over on Twitch.